Hey guys, Aiden here with a new video. This time around I'll be murdering the PlayStation 5 for BDO. So if you don't know, anybody else maybe saw the news about the new PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles. Apparently they put out a new post on the Black Desert console website. I don't usually do news related videos where I go over it note per note, but for this one I will be making an exception today. If you're wondering why the gameplay is also so smooth in the background, it's because it's Guardian gameplay from my PC, because I can't be bothered to turn on my PlayStation 4 Pro console today. I was planning to go grind some Grand Face locations on my Guardian, but I kinda lost all motivation after I read this. So let's go over the article really quick. Improvements on next generation consoles. Updated. We have optimized Black Desert's backward compatibility with next generation consoles to the fullest extent allowed by each platform. We will continuously work with our partners to further improve performance on all supported consoles. Looking good at this point, right? The Xbox Series X will allow the game to reach 120 FPS, while the PlayStation 5 possesses a frame rate priority option that allows you to play up to 60 FPS. Like, what the fuck? Anything else beyond this, it's not worth noting. But 60 versus 120? So, the gist is, Xbox gets to play at 120 FPS and PlayStation gets to stick with the 60 FPS. If we were to put it in PC terms, we are getting PC performance from 10 to 15 or so years ago on our next gen consoles. I don't know exactly when the first 120Hz screen was developed, and at this point I don't care to look it up, though I did look it up for you guys. It was around 2010, so yeah. Now, some people that don't have TVs or monitors that go beyond 60Hz, regardless of console FPS, they won't be able to see higher frame rates, but seeing it's 2020, a lot of TVs with decent monitors are 120 Hz or above. I mean, 120 is like 10 years old at this stage. I really don't understand who was like, yeah, sure, Xbox at 120, PlayStation 5 at 60, let's sign in on this deal, but yeah, this is gonna be fine. It's not like PlayStation 4 hasn't gotten the worst end of the server merge deal, where Xbox had half a year lead on us and with better performance. I don't know, 30 FPS versus 60 FPS is a bigger jump in the game than 60 to 120, but 120 over 60 is a huge advantage. Anything beyond 60 is additional smoothness, especially if you can leverage the variable refresh rate of the consoles on the monitor or TV that can handle it. It's a bit like G-Sync Lite for the PC players. It's huge. I have G-Sync on my monitor, and to be fair, I would never go back to anything not G-Sync E. So for me this announcement is complete bullshit. I woke up this morning with messages, hey, I didn't see this shit. I've been advocating all this time, guys, PlayStation 5 will fix all our issues. Guys, just hold on to PlayStation 5, man. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be 120 FPS, pure sweetness, and now we get this update. And of course, maybe PlayStation 5 can't run at 120, but I'll take 90. I'll take something going up between 90 and 120. They have variable refresh rate, so it's not gonna end up tearing anyway. So yeah, waking up today was pure joy. Half my Discord is all talk about quitting and people being pissed off at this super unfair move. I really don't get heated easily or angry or pissed off. I'm very slow to anger, but I'm way beyond 9,000 right now, if I'm gonna be honest. I read this in total disbelief. At least what they should have done is put both Xbox and PlayStation 5 at 60. It's been an uphill battle for PlayStation 4 Pro. People playing on a regular PlayStation 4, it's a nightmare, and yeah, sure, PlayStation 5 is an upgrade for sure. 60 FPS is way smoother than we got right now, but still, it's like having one leg is better than none, but you won't be winning in any competitions again. Two-legged specimens, you know. There's a lot more that goes into it. Just being 120 FPS is better. There are things like frame time, and the faster this is, the more likely your action is fired on the next frame. I know we're talking about like say 10 milliseconds versus 5 milliseconds, but yeah, it's a game of timing. It comes down to timing, and if you're on one console and your frame time is 10 milliseconds and you fire something at 4, it's gonna fire at beyond 10, and the other console that fires at 4, it's gonna fire off at 5 milliseconds. It works something like that. I'm not a PC tech or a tech channel, but yeah, something like that. Also, I also know on PC people fight against each other with different hardware. Needless to say, those with a higher end frame rate system, they are at an advantage. So Xbox being at 120, PlayStation at 60, Xbox has a huge advantage over PlayStation players. Am I buying a PlayStation 5 to play at 60 FPS? I have not pre-ordered one, so I don't know. I'm glad I didn't pre-order one, because I only play BDO on my PlayStation 4 Pro. I also played Dragon Ball titles like Xenoverse and Fighter Z, but I have not launched those in a long time. And I can get BDO on 200 FPS on my PC. I was really hyped on the PlayStation 5, and it has been the sole reason I was able to stick it out with the issues for so long. But yeah, like I said, the proper way for Black Desert and console to handle this was to limit both consoles to 60 FPS until PlayStation 5 is able to run at 120. And if PlayStation 5 can never run the game at 120, keep the game fair, lock it both at 60. That is how I should have handled it, and it's how they should have handled it. It's completely unfair and ruins any competitiveness on the PlayStation 5 for PvP it has. Sure, can you kill people that are running 120 FPS with 60? Yeah, of course you can. But it's a super huge deal breaker for most people out there. Probably not for everybody, but it's a huge deal breaker for myself and many people like me that like their frame rate. It's really, really not cool to run BDO as if we just bought and play. Basically, we just our next tech generation PlayStation 5 for Black Desert is gonna be a 20-year-old PC. That's basically the basic gist of it. While Xbox gets to play in the next gen tech with 120 FPS, like the PC possibly can. That is dated right now. I don't know, but it might be time for me to move back to PC. Time to maybe upgrade my old GTX 1080 Ti to an RTX 3080 and just skip this console version or just stick with my PlayStation Pro and never leave the PlayStation server. At least my 30 FPS versus a PlayStation 5 60 FPS is the exact same thing as 60 FPS running into an Xbox player at 120 FPS. Except it won't cost me 500 euros. And then I get to spend my money on my PC and I can run BDO and Apex Legends at 300 FPS with an RTX 3080. So yeah, I don't know. Gonna end the video here. I think this is a super unfair move, and PlayStation has always taken the shot versus Xbox, and we're taking another one. It's not cool, guys. Not cool. I don't know.